Long Hungry Snacks Meals in the building.
I wasn't even thinking about me being on the show. I wanted to produce something for them.
Cool celebrity. Like if I went to the mall and stuff, they'd be like, "Oh,
The thing was, I didn't even know that anybody ever thought I was ugly.
We look like twins almost.
Okay.
She really wouldn't be
Covering any more subjects related. So that's why you got the raw reaction. This is pathetic. It's pathetic. Welcome back to the Sweet Pea Diaries. It's your girl Sweet Pea, and I am back with another video. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome to the Sweet Pea Diaries. Be sure to like this video, share this video, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hey guys, welcome back. It is another edition of your girl. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got about 11 people here so far. I know you guys, as you are starting to come in, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you are not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell so that you know you get all of your notifications when we go live, when we update, when we upload any community posts, just basically whenever I'm on YouTube talking my shit, make sure you get notified. All right, so let me know if you guys can hear me, if you can see me, if all is well. Thank you. Let me know. All right, so I got Lynn, Monica, Baby Shay 81. Hey, Baby Shay. Cleopatra Dawn says, hey, everyone. Hey, girl. Soleil 846. Hi, Sweet Pea. That was definitely a Travis Scott. Okay. Unfortunately, we are going to get into that. We're going to get into that, but prayers for all of those that have lost their lives, that have been injured, all of the friends, family, loved ones of those that are also injured and have lost their lives. Our prayers go out to them. This show, thank you, Chick. You're looking good, girl. Thank you. Moon and Stargazer. It's been a minute. Hey, girl. You must have been in the bushes. I haven't seen you in a while. So welcome to the show. Lynn says yes, and the ring lights are in your glasses. I know there's nothing I can do about that. I have tried to fix that. So I just won't wear glasses. Is that better? If that is going to distract my peoples, I just will not wear the glasses. Okay? So I won't wear them, Lynn. All right? Netta 24. Hey, girl. So, yeah, as people begin to come in, what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk about, oh gosh, I don't know what we're going to call it. We're going to call it basically just what it was. It was a massacre. Those that are, witnesses to the tragedy have described it as complete chaos, utter confusion, just people dropping, being trampled over, being stuck with some type of object, and then basically dying right before people's eyes. So we're going to get into it because there's a lot to unpack. I'm going to give you guys, my opinion towards the end, but I just want to cover the facts, go over what we do know, and also give people a little history about Travis Scott. I don't think a lot of people even know who Travis Scott is and where he came from. Okay. Another industry plant, in my opinion. He's overrated. He's a multi-millionaire, very, very wealthy, very successful. And yet I don't understand for what. He's auto-tuned. His voice is auto-tuned. We never really hear his true voice. Even at concerts, I don't even know what he really sounds like. The chaos and the pandemonium that ensues him and that follows him and that comes before him before and after his performances. It is just so much chaos and pandemonium. I really don't know what he sounds like and what he gives during a concert. So, yeah, we really need to unpack who is Travis Scott, where did he come from, how did he get his start. We're going to go through all of that because I don't think, when I was doing my research, I didn't know anything about Travis Scott. All of I know is he was just here. One day he wasn't, and the next he was just here. He was a multimillionaire dating Kylie Jenner, and sought after as a musician, producer, by everyone in the industry. So we're gonna get into it, okay? Netta says it's Travis and the fake tears for me. Well, these celebrities, I've always said it is the Illuminati for me. These celebrities, in order to get to a certain, okay, and I'm going to issue the warning before we even get into it. Everything that is said here in this show, it is for entertainment purposes only. Everything here is alleged. Anything that is my opinion, it is alleged. The only thing that is factual are the news reports that we're going to read, that we're going to, hear. Those are the only thing that we can say is factual because it's coming from the police department. It's coming from the sources. Anything else is entertainment. It is for educational, fair use. We screaming all that, all right? It is just for my entertainment purposes only. It is just my thoughts, all right? All right, so let's jump into this article, all right? I thought this one really covered it the most, all in one. It just gives you one whole, breakdown, okay? And this article is from People, and it says, everything we know so far about the 8 people killed at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival. Hey, Chocolate Bay. Chocolate Bay says, hey, Sweet Pea in chat. Hey, Chocolate Bay, thank you for coming to the channel. You guys go on over there and subscribe to the Chocolate Bay. He is also another YouTube blogger in these streets. Welcome, Chocolate Bay. Have a seat, sit back, and enjoy the show. Marcella Booth the Davis says, how are you? Hey, girl. All right. So, Mayor Sylvester Turner confirmed at a news conference on Saturday that 8 people died in a mass casualty event at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival in NRG Park in Houston on Friday. Among the dead are a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old, 2 21-year-olds, 2 23-year-olds, and a 27-year-old. Another victim's age has not yet been identified. Turner said of the 25 people initially transported to the hospital, 13 remain hospitalized. Now, actually, the numbers have been updated, and at this time, this is what they were reporting. There has recently been an update a few hours ago that there were 8 dead, confirmed dead, but 300 of the concert goings, 300 have been transferred to a field hospital. So apparently they have a field hospital set up outside of the area where the concert was, and they are transporting people that were there, and people that were injured there need to be seen at that field hospital because of the investigation and what is being investigated with the reports of people being jabbed with a needle, and that, you know, they want to know what went on at this concert. It was a massacre, mass casualties. So they really want to get down to the bottom of things. They are saying that Houston law enforcement, they are saying that they have launched a criminal investigation that involves the narcotics unit as well as the homicide division. Okay, now it was a report and estimated that there were actually 50,000 people at this event. Okay, so John Hilgert, a 14-year-old ninth grader from Memorial High School in Houston, was among the victims. Our hearts go out to the student's family and to his friends and our staff at Memorial High School. This is a terrible loss, and the entire MHS family is grieving today, the school said. In a letter to families in the district on Saturday, obtained by the outlet. On Saturday, the family of 16-year-old Brianna Rodriguez also confirmed to People that she was one of the 8 victims who died during Scott's performance as well, another 16-year-old. According to her family's Facebook post, Rodriguez was a junior in high school, gone from our sights but never from our hearts, wrote her family. It is with profound sadness we lay to rest our beloved Brianna Rodriguez. She was a beautiful, vibrant 16-year-old high school junior at Heights High School in Houston, Texas. Dancing was her passion, and now she's dancing her way to heaven's pearly gates. Rudy Pena, a 23-year-old medical assistant and criminal justice major of Laredo, Texas, also died. A day after the tragedy, Pena's brother-in-law, Sergio Gonzalez, told People that their family wants answers and justice after losing his wife's little brother. We learned in the worst way. We found out around 12:30 last night from a friend of Rudy that was with him that he had just passed out. Gonzalez explained. It wasn't until this afternoon that we found out he had actually died. Pena's cousin, Kimberly Escamilla, also confirmed his death. In a Facebook tribute, she wrote, "R.I.P. to my cousin. You will be missed. I can't believe this happened to you at the Astros concert. You were always smiling and so nice and so handsome. I love you." The two 21-year-olds who died have now been identified as Franco Patino and his best friend Jacob Jurenick. Franco's older brother, Julio Patino Jr., told People that his younger sibling had such a big heart and was always going above and beyond in helping others. Jacob's father, Ron, also told People of his son. He was the sweetest kid you'd ever want to meet. He had the biggest heart in the world. There is nothing of this magnitude that any of us can recall, certainly that I can recall, that has taken place in this city, Turner said. This should be thoroughly investigated and reviewed. So Turner, who is 67, told reporters at the Saturday's conference, adding that the incident is being thoroughly investigated and viewed. I'm sorry, I skipped a whole sentence. I was I lost my train of thought because I was thinking about how terrible it was, and I was about to read that bolded line in the middle. I'm so sorry. So I'll read that sentence over. There is nothing of this magnitude that any of us can recall, certainly that I can recall, that has taken place in this city, Turner, 67, told reporters at Saturday's conference, adding that the incident is being thoroughly investigated and reviewed. Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo is calling for an independent investigation into what occurred Friday evening and how it could have been prevented, if at all. Eyewitnesses of the horrific events at Scott's Astroworld Festival on Friday describe a scene of chaos and fear. In an interview with CNN, concertgoer Billy Nasir said people were just dying left and right. He said things heated up around 15 minutes after Scott began his performance, and it just progressively got worse. People were getting trampled, they were losing their balance, and then tripping over people on the floor, he told the People outlet, adding that there was shoving in the crowd. The barricade couldn't accommodate all of the people that were there. They were too small. It was a death trap, basically. While trying to help one victim, Nasir said he watched his eyes roll into the back of his head. He checked his pulse and he knew that he was dead. I just had to leave him there, Nasir explained. There was nothing I could do. I had to keep going. Nasir told CNN that he was frustrated when the concert continued, despite the chaos on the ground. I wanted the music to stop and I wanted everyone around me to realize what was going on. But people didn't have very much self-awareness. Kids were just going crazy and partying for the festival, and they weren't actually paying attention to the bodies dropping around them. Security, he added, was not on par. There wasn't enough security guards, and there wasn't enough EMTs or people helping out in the crowd. The paramedics couldn't even reach the crowd. Nasir also questions the number of people reportedly killed. He alleges 10 to 20 people died before ambulances were even able to reach them after 30 to 45 minutes, and believes there were more than 100 bodies on the ground. I didn't even know what to do. There was no way to help them. There was no exit, and everything was just blocked in. A police officer who witnessed the incident told KPRC TV that everything seemed to occur all at once. It seemed like it just happened over the course of just a few minutes. He told the station, suddenly we had several people on the ground experiencing some type of cardiac arrest or medical episode, and so we immediately started doing CPR and moving people. One father that attended the event told ABC 13 that people started pulling people over the railing to escape being suffocated and smashed. Madeline Eskins, an ICU nurse, said the scene was absolutely insane in an interview with Fox 26. I've never seen anything like that in my life, Eskins told the outlet. I am disturbed. Honestly, it should have been stopped. Eskins also detailed her terrible experience at Astroworld early on Instagram Saturday. I don't think I've ever been more disturbed. Some of these medical staff had little to no experience with CPR, didn't know how to check a pulse, carotid, or femoral artery, she wrote in the caption. Compressions were being done without a pulse check, so people who had a pulse were getting CPR, she added. But meanwhile, there was not enough people to rotate out during compressions on individuals that were actually pulseless. The medical staff didn't have the tools to do their jobs. In her post, Eskins claimed that she passed out after people began pushing up against me so much that I couldn't breathe. She alleged that the crowd helped transfer her unconscious body to a security guard who brought her to a section behind general admission to recover. After coming to, Eskins said she looked around and saw people getting carried out with their eyes rolling into the back of their heads, while bleeding from the nose and mouth. A nearby security guard allegedly asked for help after she asked if anyone had been checking for a pulse on potential victims. I told them I was an ICU nurse, and then another security guard, hearing that, said, "Please come help," she recalled. Another woman was captured on camera by multiple witnesses climbing up onto a platform where a cameraman was filming the concert and begging for help. In one clip posted on Twitter, the woman is heard screaming, "There is somebody dead," at the cameraman, who then appears to argue with her. Meanwhile, a male concertgoer climbs up a ladder and screams, "Stop the show!" multiple times. The cameraman appears to urge the pair, who appear distressed, to get off the platform before returning to filming. A reunification center has been set up at the Wyndham Hotel outside of NRG Park, with 2 emergency hotlines available for those who have yet contacted about being injured or have yet heard from their loved one who was a contact at the concert. So you can set up a time, or actually, I guess, go there, or you can call this hotline if you have not heard from your loved one and they were at this concert, so that you can set up a time to go and, see if your loved one was affected by this. Are they actually dead? Because according to this witness, there are more than 8 people. It has to be around 20 to 30 to maybe more than that. She feels as though she saw at least 100 bodies on the ground. Just because she saw 100 bodies doesn't mean that 100 people were dead. They could have been passed out or what have you. But she alleges that people died before the EMTs and ambulance got there. So they didn't arrive until 30 to 45 minutes into this. So she's alleging that there are more than 8 people dead. At the reunification center, one man told reporters that while he and his 2 friends were uninjured, they witnessed many concertgoers pass out and get injured. "I think Don Tolliver was the first set, and I was like, yo, I'm kind of scared for my life in this moment," the man said, per KHOU. He added that it felt like there were 1 million people there and you could barely catch your breath. When people started to fall down, the man said some fans were being ignorant and just stomping around and not even caring about the people that fell down. A different concertgoer told reporters that his hands were crushing his own chest while he was in the crowd. "So I was panicking a little bit," he said, "and that's when I finally got out of there." His friend later added that it got to the point where we had to walk over people's bodies. "There's not much you can do when there's 50,000 people in one little area," he said. Give me a moment.
I'm glad none of us got hurt, but like, we saw a lot of people like pass out and just get injured.
So describe it for me. Tell me where you guys were at and what started happening.
Well, like before it even started, like people were like shoving and like pushing, and you could tell like, oh, this is gonna get crazy. And I think Don Tolliver was like the first set. I was like, yo, like I'm kind of scared for my life at this moment. And then obviously like Travis was at like another stage, and then I was, oh man, there's just so many people there. It felt like a million people there at once. Like people just like passing out and they could barely catch your breath.
So the guy over there was telling us like the crowd started like pulsating back and forth, and it started getting feeling like a weird vibe or something.
Yeah.
And then stuff just like erupted. So tell me about that.
Yeah, it just like it kind of like people would push forward, and then like the people at the fence, they didn't want to get pushed all the way squished, and so they pushed back, and so you just kind of like moving back and forth, and then people would start moshing. They open up a circle, and then people start pushing back and forth, and so like a lot of people don't want to do that, but there's also a lot of people that want to mosh. So people want to stay because it's Travis. That's like one of their favorite artists, but then they get hurt or injured, and then you see like the people, the medical team trying to like help people out. And then there's also a lot of people that were being ignorant and just like stomping and like not caring about the people that fell down, and so it's just a lot of both sides of that.
So tell me, did you guys see people on the ground and people actually fall
Yeah,
out?
we were like seeing people.
We tried helping people.
Tell me about that.
I mean, there was a person who fell, and everyone was trying to pick him up, but the crowd was too tight. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like trying to pick him up, and so we had to push people away, and then we were like, three of us would grab him up at once because they couldn't get up themselves.
Yeah, it was just a mess, just in general. Everybody would, somebody fell, they're like, try and push, open, no. And the people just kept on. It was like, I don't know how to describe it. I guess the best way to describe it, like, you know the sardines from SpongeBob? When they're going, jumping, that's what it felt like the whole time. Like, the whole time. Everyone was just going down, people were getting trampled. There was a couple times where we fell, but it wasn't anything serious compared to other people, like young women and stuff. It was just terrible all
And the
around.
people that fell, were they adults or would you say they were teen?
So basically, what I'm gathering and what you can ascertain from these witnesses, this started off the atmosphere and the feeling in the crowd. It was sheer pandemonium before it even started. It seems to be that a lot of the people that are witnesses, they share the number one sentiment that the atmosphere, it was pandemonium. It was so many people, and just the excitement of the crowd and everyone being so excited to be there, just the adrenaline and the energy was already overwhelming to the point where these concert goers that just spoke, they were ready to leave. And they left. They left before things really even got out of control. He said his arms were crushed in front of him. It was that compressed. But what I need answers to is why it was that many people. Why were there that many people during a goddamn pandemic, during a time where there are still rules on the number of people at a gathering? Why aren't there 50,000 people jam-packed into a concert setting? Why is it 50,000 people or more? Why are those people all compressed and packed together like sardines? Now, I don't want to hear people had on masks. You didn't know they did not. These people in this interview, doing an interview, they did not have on masks. Everyone was not masked up. So that tells you right now, during the concert, they weren't masked. They didn't have on masks. And you know, these teenagers and young adults and younger people, and it's sad to say it, a lot of the white people during this pandemic did not already want to wear a mask. So the fact that they're out at these concerts, they do this. They don't wear masks on purpose because they want to show the establishment we are back out, we're open, the world is open. And there's a lot of people that don't even believe that the coronavirus was real, that it's orchestrated by the government, and the people that have been dying from it, no matter whether or not we come out as, crusaders for this and say, hey, I had family members that died from it, I had COVID, whatever we say, these people still insist that it is a conspiracy. They don't believe in the coronavirus. So these would be the type of people that are at Travis's concert, because his fan base, they're blacks, but he has a large fan base, if not more, white people, white young males that are his fans, that make up his fan base. Okay? They make up his fan base. So these would be the type of people that would not want to wear a mask. So the fact that we are in a pandemic, we're dealing with the coronavirus, the fact that you got a concert going on, 50,000 plus more people in this venue, packed in like sardines, so much to the point where these two describe it as sheer pandemonium before the concert even started. And it was so much energy that this person felt like he was going to lose his life. Now, that just speaks to the type of energy that was in the air, because we're going to touch on some things. That speaks on the type of energy that was already in the air. How many of you went to a concert, have ever been to a concert, and can describe the energy as already being so hyped up that you want to leave? That the energy was already such sheer hell, felt like hell, that you would want to leave after paying for your ticket. And I can only imagine how much these tickets costed. All right, so I'm just looking down at the chat and looking and seeing what people are saying. Cocoa Butter Barbie says, I don't want to be this person, but people are losing jobs for not getting a shot to prevent this virus. But the government is allowing these events with no masks, but not doing anything to those people. Now, I thought, and this could just be me, I could be wrong. Please let me know if in the chat if this is not a true statement. But I thought that when you went to a concert, you were supposed to be vaccinated. You had to show your card, whether or not you're vaccinated or not. There has to be some proof that you are vaccinated, even though that does not prevent the coronavirus or keep people from getting the coronavirus. For some reason, I thought that at these events, even, like with the Met Gala and, doing these movies and being on set, I thought that you had to show proof that you're vaccinated. So I'm not sure, but if that is the truth, please let me know. But now the witnesses are describing the atmosphere being the energy. It was just something in the air. We'll take a look at this photo, okay? This is what the inside of the venue looks like. Now you're outside, however, you're in an area packed in, and you have security around that is wrapped around to keep the concert goers in, or to keep, their eyes on the crowd and make sure everything's, I guess, going smoothly. But in my mind, when you have security wrapped around a venue, it is to keep people in and from not getting out. So pay attention to that. That's something else that we're going to touch on. All right. So let's set the stage for this concert. Okay. Let's set the stage for the concert. You have security. Now, this is just from the statements that we've read, the eyewitness account that we just read. Okay. Let's just set the stage. We have concert goers packed in a venue. We have security wrapped around the concert goers, meaning they are in a circle, okay? So the venue is right here. You've got the concert goers in this inside, and you've got the security wrapped around the concert goers. Okay? You have that. And so you then have this setup. Now, we all know that Astroworld is Travis's 2018. This album was released in 2018. And this is what the cover of, represents Astroworld. This is Travis Scott out of his mouth. The people are in this setup, all right? Now, here is the album cover of Astroworld, because this is what they attempted to reenact at this concert. All right? So this is the cover of the album for Astroworld. Now, we're going to dive into this because there are two different covers for this album. So just take a look at this. I'm going to grab me a drink real quick. Just keep your eyes on that. Child. I had to get me some margarita mix. I needed me a drink. I needed me a drink. Because, honey, these Illuminati people, they going to drive me insane with these goddamn rituals because they want money. They want money and they want to remain on top of, you know, a certain, they just want a certain, you know, type of lifestyle. All right, so this is the album cover. Now, there are 2 album covers to Astroworld, all right? Now, if you do not know the whole meaning behind this album, Astroworld is, there was an amusement park, I believe in Houston, Texas, or Texas. I'm not sure if it was in Houston, but it was in Texas. I believe Houston. And this amusement park was closed down around the time of Travis's childhood, okay? He grew up going to this park, and it was, you know, I guess, closed down during, you know, during this time, okay? So, as an artist, he wanted to recreate Astroworld in a project, you know? So I don't know if he wants to open Astroworld back up. I don't know if he has plans to actually open up the actual amusement park itself, but he has described, you know, he has described Astroworld as, you know, a place that was dear to him. He used to go all the time or what have you. But let's just take a look at the album cover, okay? So this is supposed to depict an amusement park. We see the children, you know, you see Astroworld, and then you see Travis Scott, and you see families and people going into Astroworld, going into the theme park, but it looks kind of demonic. It looks like they're going to be going into some type of, it reminds me of, you know, like a carnival, but it's going to be sinister. You know, like some type of terror. You know, we're going into some type of terror. So this is supposed to depict the beginning of Astroworld. You know, when he first started this album and the idea he had for Astroworld. Yeah, I'm going to open it back up. It's an amusement park. It's going to talk about, you know, I'm going to relive, you know, my childhood, talk about my experiences in this album, who shaped me, who shaped Travis Scott, what shaped Travis Scott, and Astroworld shaped me. You know, it was a part of my childhood. But as we go on and we start having songs and we get into the actual album, we start to see that Travis Scott has now become something else in Astroworld. And welcome to the channel, Moon and Stargazer. Welcome to Sweepy Gang. I see you, girl. Thank you for joining the channel. You will not be disappointed. You got a whole plethora of videos now that are at your disposal that no one else has, so enjoy. All right. So as you go on, you start to see that Travis Scott, you will now, when you start listening to the album, and you go further into it, you start to see that it takes a darker side. It takes a darker toll, and things start to get more sinister. Now you're starting to get into the mind of Travis Scott and what he actually is going through as an artist, as a person in the industry, being with Kylie Jenner, because this is actual, if you guys don't know, I'm giving you some background. If you don't know, this is around the time when he got with Kylie Jenner, and he describes that that encounter and hooking up with Kylie Jenner in this album. And I believe it is the song, let me take a look. I do have that for you guys. Let me get that real quick, because you guys know I have to have a receipt. I got to come with the receipt, or the people say, no, he didn't. But yes, this is around the time, Skeletons. It was actually the song Skeletons in which he describes getting with Kylie Jenner. He talks about how, we just rocked Coachella. I gave her half of the check. It was good sex. Honorable mention to the neck. Didn't pass the loud. That was out of respect. Afterwards, passed the towel. I was out of Kleenex. If you take your girl out, do you expect sex? If she takes out her titties, do you expect checks? First visit, I gave her a pearl necklace. Next visit, I'm gonna need your girl naked. Took a church visit, cause the world is hectic. Like floating. If I can't be in time, I don't know. Wash on me. Yeah. In the ocean, I can't be loved. I don't know a sound. That's right. Standing in the ocean, echoing, standing in the ocean. Oh, baby, feels like slow motion. We're floating at the speed. Okay, now, these are these songs, honey, that these people, when they be into their zone and they be writing in, honey, I don't understand any of that. All I understand is the middle part where you really actually are telling us what this song is about. Because they met during Coachella. And if anyone knows the story of them, they met in Coachella. This is the time that he met Kylie Jenner in 2018. And he wrote this song about her. Okay? So, I am not sure why people do not understand. Like, when you look at, I just don't understand why anyone would be confused as to what is going on. I don't understand why anyone would not believe that this is anything other than what it was. Because what I'm trying to get people to understand here, this album is not Travis Scott's recent album. This album was back in 2018. Travis Scott's recent album is called Utopia, which was released in 2021. Why are we doing a concert based off of an album that was released in 2018? Why are we doing a concert calling it Astroworld, naming it from the album, mind you, Astroworld? But this album was released in 2018. Why is this concert, why is the theme Astroworld? Why are we not naming it Utopia? Utopia would have been a great name for a concert, for a show. Why would you name and use Astroworld for this concert? Why would Astroworld be used for a concert that you're having in 2021 when this album was released in 2018? I'm pretty sure Nia says because COVID hit in 2019. Yeah, no, I'm not buying that. No. Just because COVID hit in 2019, that means absolutely nothing. We still heard those lyrics. We still heard those, we still had videos of those songs. We still heard them played on the radio. The album was still released. The album did well. The songs did well. We all know them, and we all know the story about Astroworld and Kylie Jenner and him meeting, and now that song Skeletons is about them. So that makes no sense to me that you would use an album that was released in 2018. and blame it on COVID. If people want to say that it's about COVID, then that would mean he stopped making music and he wouldn't have made anything else after 2018. So if you want to say that, let's just say it is about COVID. Okay, because COVID hit, Sweet Pea, and they weren't able to have concerts. All right, well then that would mean that it would have stopped and we would not have had any more Travis Scott music. That means an album was released in 2019 and an album was released in 2020, and then there was one released in 2021. We have had 3 projects released since Astroworld. Do you guys not understand that? See, people don't even do their research. They have absolutely no idea what they're even talking about when they come up on these videos. Right, Nia, I got you. No, I meant no concerts and things because of COVID. Yes, I get that. But why would you use the theme from 2018? Why would you use the Astroworld? Because there's an agenda with this Astroworld, okay? There's an agenda. Now, it starts off, this is the first album cover. Looks like somebody being excited and passing out. They're popcorn. They're so excited. They're jumping up, and you got the kid, he's eating his and he's good. Looks like a Chucky doll to me. Looks like he's dressed up as Chucky. Looks like Chucky. That looks like Chucky to me. Okay. How did Chucky get there? That looks like Chucky. And then this looks like a little black child. That looks like a little black child. Jumping up in the air. The popcorn. She's so excited. The popcorn then flew out. And then in the back, you've got an astronaut with a rocket ship about to go out in space. Because these are the decorations of Astroworld, you know. It's space themed. All right? But we want to say this has to do with COVID, okay? So let's keep it on that, because I knew that that's what people think. But what you don't realize, he released a concert, him in Fortnite. That's right, the Fortnite game. They released a virtual concert of Travis Scott during COVID. So he was already doing concerts during COVID. They were virtual. He released it with Fortnite. All right. So there is something behind Astroworld. He has already told the story. Now, the first album cover, you got kids. Everybody done came to Astroworld. They're ready to have a good time. The family's entering it. The kid is eating popcorn. This kid is so excited that they done lost their popcorn. But then as you go through the album, you got another side 2, side B. You have, now it's dark, it's sinister. You got girls on girls. You've got a girl, you know, they dead, wrapped up in there inside of a, you know, the box that you cut somebody, you know, in the carnival with. But they're just 2 girls. They are scrunched up and packed in this box. And then you have a naked lady laying down in the front on this looks like a mattress seat from a car. And she's laying down naked on it, you know, and she's got her spiked shoes. Okay. And now it looks like Astroworld is getting dark, dirty, gritty. Not for kids. Because we all know what happens after dark, honey. When we put the kids to bed. So some would like to say, well, the beginning of the album is Travis Scott's mind into him as a child, and Astroworld, his memories as a kid going to Astroworld. He wants to reopen the theme park, la 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 la, with the family, la 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 la. Then you got side B. All right. Hey, all right. Rockstar. You got the rock star image. Everybody is shred. All right. Shred. What? You got the Astroworld After Dark. Kelly. Things done got wicked. And now you got the concert. The night of the concert, when all the pandemonium, people dropping like flies, being stuck with a substance. Astroworld. You got the security guards wrapped around the venue, not letting people out, keeping them in, because why would people have to trample over anyone to get out? When the shit hit the fan and everybody started panicking and knowing what was going on, why were they having a hard time getting out? You're already outside. You're not in a building. You don't need to go through fire exits or anything like that. You don't have an exit plan or strategy for an emergency because you're not in a building. You are outside. So that's probably another, because of COVID and the restrictions around COVID, they felt like, okay, we're outside, because these people like to believe that if you're outside, the virus somehow cannot travel from person to person because you're outside. Right? So if you're outside and you have these security people wrapped around, I would think that you should be able to get out. Are you really going to sit here and play in our face and want us to believe that there was only one way in and one way out of this venue? There was only one way in and one way out. One little door, one little wire fence door you can only get out of. There were not several exits. You couldn't just walk out of the venue. You're already outside. So this was purposely done in my mind. Allegedly, like I said, everything is alleged on this channel. There's no way, if the type of professionals that we have been described as here, that we've been hearing, and they've been described as having little to no training, not knowing CPR, not understanding how to administer CPR. The security guards were just standing around, la 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 la. You mean to tell me that security was that tight, though, that they couldn't get out? So you have people that don't know CPR, people that barely understood how to give training to these people in distress, but they had top-notch security where people were not able to get out, where you only had one exit. You guys, this was set up. I'm sorry. This was set up. And I'm just going to put it out there. This is a setup. There is no way that you are outside. No way. You are outside and you can't get out of this venue. You're trapped and you're being trampled, and people were being trampled in a venue that was outside. It had no steps. It was not any bleachers. It wasn't like people had to run down steps. It was one flat level. There is no way in hell that you were not able to get out of that venue. It was just, you look at it. Look at the scene. Look at the scene. It is a flat level. People are packed in. It's like one big COVID fest, one big viral fest. Everybody just packed in. And like I said, look at the races. Look at the type of people that listen to Travis Scott music. And like the witnesses that we just heard from, they said the energy, it already, from the moment they got in there and everything was packed in, before he even started performing, the energy just was off. The energy was off. When the first performer started performing on another stage. The witness said he feared for his life. How could you fear for your life at a concert just from the energy in the air? So that tells me what went on behind the scenes. What did they do? What type of rituals were being done behind the scenes for the energy to be the way it was already? The energy was already in the air, was already in the atmosphere. Already in the atmosphere. There's no way you should be coming to a concert. There's no reason that you should feel like that. You are coming to a concert to enjoy yourself. You are excited to see Travis Scott. And you come there and the energy already feels like your life is being sucked out of you. People describe it as their life being sucked out of them, feeling like they were in hell, feeling like they were trapped in. The energy was sheer pandemonium already. Now, I get people get excited about artists. I get people, sometimes look how they used to do Michael Jackson, honey. They used to pass out with Michael Jackson. But this is Travis Scott. This is not a Michael Jackson. Cocoa Butter, Miss Gardner for president makes an excellent point. I wonder what kind of music they were playing while the crowd waited. That's an excellent point. However, the witnesses have described this as being sheer pandemonium and the energy feeling like they were being suffocated. There's no way that you should feel like that at a concert. No way. Absolutely not. Now, there have been accusations of people being injected with substances. Astroworld Festival police confirm victims may have been injected with drugs. Launches criminal probe. Houston authorities have shared additional information about Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival, which saw 8 people die and numerous others injured while the rapper was on stage on Friday night. In a press conference held on Saturday afternoon, Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner confirmed that while the age of one victim remains unknown, other victims were 14, 16, 21, 23, and 27. 2 victims were 21 and 2 were 23. Now, as we have already uncovered, the witness that we heard from describes that there were more than 20 or possibly 30 people that actually died. There were people died before the ambulances were able to get there. They arrived 30 to 40 minutes into this event. Turner confirmed that 25 people were hospitalized, including several attendees under the age of 18. Houston Police Department Chief Troy Finner said that his department had 528 officers on the scene, with another 755 security officers provided by event promoter Live Nation. So Live Nation is the promoter of this event. Doesn't surprise me. Live Nation is the promoter of a lot of these artists, especially the larger artists. So Live Nation is the promoter behind this event. They employed 528 police department officers and another 755 security officers. That's a lot of freaking security for an event. What was Live Nation expecting? 528 officers just from the police department, 755 additional security officers from just private security agencies. What were they expecting that they needed over 1,300 security guards? What were they expecting to go down that they needed to take 528 officers off the force that night? We didn't need no crime protecting. We didn't need no crime fighting in Houston. That night, we needed 528 officers to be deployed to a Travis Scott concert. So that tells me Live Nation expected there to be a need for security. They expected that there was going to be something to go down at this event, that they needed this many security officers. He explained that there are a lot of narratives floating around regarding what happened at the event, but encouraged those keeping up with the case to follow the facts and evidence. He did say, however, that authorities have obtained a statement from a security guard suggesting they felt a prick in their neck, and medical staff concurred that a marking on his skin aligned with such an event. Police confirm Astroworld security guard was likely injected with drugs when stabbed in the neck with a needle. Authorities said that they would watch video, interview witnesses, and review concert protocols to determine how 8 people died at a Houston music festival when fans suddenly surged toward the stage to watch rapper Travis Scott. City officials said Saturday they were in the early stages of investigating the pandemonium that unfolded Friday evening at Astroworld, a sold-out 2-day event in NRG Park with an estimated 50,000 people in attendance. One attendee said that as a timer clicked down the start of Scott's performance, the crowd pushed forward. As soon as he jumped out on the stage, it was like an energy took over and everything went haywire. Now you see where I'm taking you guys. Now we started off with what people described what was going down. We gave you a little background as to what Astroworld even is. Because see, this is what I usually like to do on this channel. I like to give people receipts. I like to give people information. I want you to understand what you're really being told, what information you're really being given, because most times they leave out the background. A lot of people have the question of who the fuck is Travis Scott, but nobody ever asks the question. They just think it. Who the fuck is Travis Scott? Welcome to the channel, Carolyn Marie. Welcome to the Sweet Pea Gang, girl. I see you. A lot of people don't know who Travis Scott is. The industry will just give you these rappers, artists, and they just want you to believe that you need them in your life. You need them as an artist. You need this music. You need these rappers in your life. And meanwhile, you don't know who the F these people are. You don't even understand how they became famous. None of that. So I try to take you down the road of what the story even is about, who the story is about, and what's going on. Okay? So that's what we do. So authorities said that they would watch video and that they're going to interview witnesses about what actually went down at this concert. But people are saying that as soon as Travis jumped out on the stage, it was like an energy took over and everything just went haywire. All of a sudden, your ribs are being crushed. You have someone's arm in your neck. You're trying to breathe, but you can't. Goods also said that she was so desperate to get out that she bit a man on the shoulder to get him to move. The dead ranged in age from 14 to 27, and 13 people were still hospitalized on Saturday. Now, we also told you that there was a witness. We read it. We provided the receipt. She said there's more than 8 people. That it's about 20 to 30 people. Okay? It is more than 8. They are only reporting 8. So she says, as soon as he came out on stage, it was sheer pandemonium. And can you imagine it? So let's take ourselves there. You're in the crowd. It's outside. It's dark. Now, mind you, the type of, let's look at it, guys. Let's look at it. The type of people that are at this concert, take a look. Just imagine what that atmosphere was like. The type of people, young adults, white, other races, white, Filipino, Hispanic, Asian. You got some black sprinkled here and there. But if you look at these sea of people, you barely see any black people. And I say this because they would have you to believe that Travis Scott, his audience are black, because that they're black boys, they're black young kids, that his fan base consists of black people because he's a rapper. Who else listens to rap music other than black people? Black men, black young boys, black young girls. But who do you see in this sea of concert goers? Travis Scott, his fan base, they are white. But you will understand more about him when I go into the story of Travis Scott, because I did some research and I did some digging into who Travis really is and his background. Okay? Now, Travis Scott, he came along back in the early 2000s, okay? I would say around 2000. He started off 2011 with his producing and stuff like that. And people really didn't know who he was. He was putting a lot of shit up on SoundCloud and stuff like that. And he finally got discovered by T.I. and later Kanye West, okay? But originally, Travis Scott was raised by his family, you know. He was raised with his father. He was raised with his grandfather. And they were actually both into music. The grandfather was a musician. He was a jazz player, a jazz musician, played in a jazz band. And he knew a lot about music. And so Travis's grandfather and father are the ones, and an uncle also was in the music business, and they were artists. So he grew up around these men. He had men in his life. He was a young boy that had men in his life, and they were very nurturing, and they were very supportive of teaching Travis about music. He grew up in a 2-parent family. His mother and father were very respectable people, and they cared about Travis a lot. However, they weren't the best, you know, they didn't have the best financial situation, so they lived with his grandparents in their Houston home, okay? They lived around an area, as all of young black boys describe that are artists. They grew up in an area of drugs, you know, inner city type area, even though Houston, when you think of inner city, you don't think of like the East Coast where it's high-rise buildings and stuff like that. You think of the Midwest, the Western type of city in, you know, ghetto living would be like houses. They live in houses, but it's bad areas. You know what I'm saying? The neighborhoods are bad. They live in homes. They don't live in projects, but they live in bad neighborhoods. The people around them are partaking in drug dealing, smoking crack, maybe crack houses and stuff. So Travis grew up around that, but he was loved by his family, okay? So once he graduated from high school, and in high school, he was really a good student. He took up, theater and stuff like that. He was really into and interested in doing acting, and he did a lot in theater and stuff, which was why he understood being a producer and making beats, and he understood that that's something that he wanted to do at a young age because he was already partaking in the arts. All right. Now, when he actually graduated from high school, because he graduated. Now, he graduated from high school. His name is not actually really Travis Scott. Okay. His name is Jacques Webster. His name is not Travis Scott. Okay. So I'm telling you, I'm trying to give y'all the background. Okay? I'm trying to give you the background. Trying to give you the background. Because his real name is not Travis Scott. His real name is Jacques Webster. Okay? And he basically just says that he combined his name. His inspiration comes from Kid Cudi. All right? His stage name is the namesake of a favorite uncle, combined with the first name of one of his inspirations, Kid Cudi, whose real name is Scott Mescudi. So because he likes Kid Cudi, he took the first name from a cheesecake that his uncle liked, a name of a favorite uncle. Okay, whatever. One of his favorite uncles' name was Travis. And then Kid Cudi, his name was Scott Mescudi. So he took that last name and made it his. So Travis was his uncle's name, and Scott is Kid Cudi's last name. So he took it from there. So there you have Travis Scott is born. You got Kid Cudi and an uncle. They merged together and they made Travis Scott. Ciao. So when he graduated from high school, he actually wanted to pursue music full time. All right. And he couldn't tell his parents this because just like most black parents, they don't want to hear shit about their child being a musician or a rapper or anything like that. They like, you're not going to make it as a rapper. We don't want to hear that shit. And we are not going to support you if you're going to go off into college. We're only going to support you if you do academic studies. So he goes off to college and he's being supported by his family. But he really had this passion for music. So his second year in college, he actually dropped out without his parents knowing about it. He was in San Antonio, Texas at a college. His parents did not know that he dropped out, and he actually moved to New York. He takes the money that his parents are giving him to live off, and money that he's supposed to put into the books and shit like that, and he moved to NYC. Okay? So there, he stayed with people that were producers and musicians. Now, when you think about this, right, and you think about the type of music that Travis makes, he's a rapper. He's making beats. So he's not with rock star type of people, or is he? He's not with white people, or is he? Because if you think about a Travis Scott and what type of music he's making rap music. And back in 2012, 2011, this is the early 2000 years. So you're coming off of hardcore rap. You're going into this new genre that a Travis Scott and a Thugger and all of these other, this Southern trap music that came about. You didn't have that type. So where was he staying? Who was the goddamn people he was staying with? That's what I need to know. How do you just leave an area? Because I'm trying to picture myself, and I want you to picture yourself. If you don't know nobody, you're at college, you like music and you're interested in it. How do you just go to New York? You don't know anybody. You don't have any money. You're a young adult. You're in college. You're a junior in college. So that means you're in your early 20s, if not 20, 21, 19, 20. You're young. So how do you just leave San Antonio, Texas, and you go to NYC? Who do you know? Who do you know that you just go to NYC and you're used to living in San Antonio, Texas? Okay. So he goes to Texas and he's staying with producers, musicians, different people that are in the music business and music industry. And he's sleeping in their apartments, on their couch, on their floors. He's couch surfing, okay? And just to be able to go to the studio with these people, just to be able to play around with beats and show them samples and show them his style. But nothing ever really came of that. So after 4 months in New York, he decided to move to Los Angeles. He moves to Los Angeles, and there he's also staying with producer friends and people that are in the industry, and no money really. He doesn't have any money. So he's doing the same thing in Los Angeles. He finds himself on couches in people's apartments and he's on the floor. He's doing the same thing, couch surfing. But then I guess he gets hooked up with an A&R, and we don't know who this A&R is. I don't know. I tried to find who that was, but I'll do more research on that. But just for the sake of this video, I wasn't able to get to that. However, he gets with someone in Los Angeles and he hooks up with a producer and also A&R who starts paying for him to live in a hotel. Okay? So they start paying for him to live for free in a hotel. He doesn't have to pay them. In exchange for him being able to go to recording studio and make beats and do recording, and do whatever he likes to do in the studio. And then he starts to put more and more of his projects, his beats and stuff like that. He starts to put more and more of that online. Putting more and more of his sound. And, that was the early days of SoundCloud. A lot of artists were discovered on SoundCloud. A lot of producers were discovered. A lot of beat makers have since been discovered on SoundCloud because, they started putting their work on SoundCloud. So T.I. actually becomes aware of this young man, becomes aware of Travis Scott, and T.I. invites him to his studio. All right? And T.I. and him and 2 Chainz, they work on music, and they actually, Upper Echelon is born. It is a song with Travis Scott featuring T.I., 2 Chainz, and producer credits belong to Travis Scott, Mike Dean, and Kanye West. Okay? So during this time, now he is introduced to Kanye West. He then flies in early part of 2012 into 2013. He flies into NYC and he's born from there because he gets with Kanye West, and that's when he starts producing for for Kanye West, and his career just takes off. He's then named XXL freshman, one of the freshman class in 2013's XXL freshman class. And then the rest is history. Travis Scott is born. All right. Now, what I need to know is what was so great about Travis Scott that he just took off, and that a Travis Scott was born, and that Kanye West felt like he was so great, and that T.I. felt like he was so great. That's what I need to know. What I need to know is, what did Travis Scott have? Because all I hear is auto-tune. Straight up! All I hear is auto-tune. Straight up! Straight! That's all I hear. Straight up! That's all I hear. Okay? I don't see what talent this young man has. I really don't. Okay? So he goes on to do projects. He goes on to make albums to where we actually find ourselves now. Like I said, we find ourselves with his highly anticipated, and he actually announced this body of work. This is his third body of work, but he announced this body of work before his second album was even produced. His second album had not even been out yet before he announced Astroworld. Astroworld was already in the workings. He already had this album planned out, already had this concept before his second album was even done and released. So he put out Astroworld as a image and a thought before it was even done. He hadn't even done the second album yet, but he was already talking about Astroworld. And Astroworld didn't even come out until 2018. He was already talking about Astroworld when he did his second project. So there is something serious about Astroworld. There was something serious about it. This tells me that this was planned. This is another proof, another receipt that this was planned. There is no way that you are announcing your third album before your second one is even out. You did your first project. And now you are announcing your third project before the second one is even released. You're already talking about Astroworld. But you want the people to believe that you want to rebuild Astroworld. So let's talk about Astroworld. Astroworld is supposed to be his retake and reenactment on the theme park that he grew up going to. A theme park. So when we think of a theme park, we think of fun, rides, all of that. You want to open back up Astroworld. So you want to open back up this family park so that the families can go back to it and everyone can have a good time. So why do we have to have this type of art? Why do we go from family time in the daytime to sinister concerts like this, where people are being injected with substances, with needles, passing out, falling out, and dying in the spot? Well, I look at this and I say, this album cover is telling you, yeah, you think you're coming here to have a good time, but by the time you leave, this is what you're going to be experiencing. You're going to be liking women. Your ass going to be dead on the ground. You might be wrapped up in this contortionist box, and you might be able to crack your back and do a back bend, because you might be so high that you might be able to do a back bend. But when you first got here, you was with your family and you were enjoying your life. You were excited. But by the time you finished listening to this album, this is where you ended up at. You ended up on the ground, on a dirty back seat of a car that was snatched out the back seat, thrown on the ground with your spiked heels on. They got you out your clothes from that lean and that molly and that perk. Once you got done with Astroworld, you went in this way, but your ass came out like this. You went in like that and came out like this. So once Travis Scott went to New York and left and then got hooked up with Kanye West after going back to LA, his parents found out that he actually dropped out of college. So once his parents found out that he dropped out of college, they told him, we are cutting off your cell phone. We're taking it from you. You're not going to live off our dime because you are not in college anymore. So we are cutting you off. So at that time, that leaves a Travis Scott in Hollywood, Los Angeles, alone, no money, no phone, no cell phone. What do you think a person is willing to do when they desperately want to be in the music industry? Now, this is before he was famous, okay? This is leading you up to his breakthrough, all right? He's in Los Angeles. He's laying on a couch. He's laying on somebody's floor. He's with an A&R now that is now allowing you to live in a hotel for free because he's paying for it. They're paying for it, okay? And in exchange, what was the exchange? We do not know. I don't know what the exchange was that allowed you to stay in a hotel for free. You were able to go to the studio, make beats, do all of these things. And the A&R paid for your hotel room. Okay? I don't know where this is done at, and this is not anything that was spectacular. He was not a spectacular artist. Travis Scott uses auto-tune. Keep that in mind. Travis Scott uses auto-tune. He's not using live instruments. He's not writing music. He's not penning music with music sheets. He's using auto-tune and making beats using a beat machine. Okay. He's not even writing lyrics and writing to people's music. He is making beats. He's producing auto-tune beats. His voice is even auto-tune. So what I'm trying to understand is what was so talented about Travis Scott that an A&R paid for him to live in a hotel for free while he went and made beats, and then he put them on SoundCloud. Kanye heard it, and Kanye snatched him up. Now, this was around the time right before Kanye married Kim Kardashian. This was 2013. Kanye married Kim in 2014. So this tells me a lot about the associations, because Travis Scott went on to be with Kylie. Okay? So how is it that you're a nobody, no money, no nothing, and you get contacts with T.I., Kanye West, and the rest is history? Who did you know that put you in contact with these people? I don't want to hear that shit, that he put that shit up online and that they reached out. You know how many children, boys, people want to get big like that? They putting shit up on SoundCloud and hope somebody hears them. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I need to know who you knew and what they told you you needed to do to get where you was trying to go. You are an auto-tune artist. Anyone can slap their voice on auto-tune. Anyone. So they packaged his ass up, they put him through the freshman class, and they convinced the world that you needed a Travis Scott. And he just was big overnight. He was big out of nowhere. He was huge out of nowhere with these fake make-believe people as fans. These are the people that you really want to tell me that these are really Travis Scott fans? You really want to tell me that these people are all true fans of Travis Scott? This is ridiculous. This does not depict the true identity of his fans. Yes, he has white people, all that as fans, but he has black people as fans as well. I see none of those. I see a sea of Caucasian and other people that are of other races. Where are the black people? Where are the true fans? Oh, because Travis Scott does not have any black fans. Oh, that's why we don't see any black people. Because black people don't listen to Travis Scott. Black people do not listen to Travis Scott. I'm going to say that again. Black boys, black men, black trappers, drug dealers, all of this shit that they want you to believe is black rappers, they do not listen to Travis Scott. They don't listen to Travis Scott. They don't listen to Travis Scott. Lynn says, Sweet Pea, the black people were during the first stampede, but they got lost. But where they got lost at, I don't know. So maybe, yeah, well, you know, the black people, if there was black people there, child, I'm not saying that there weren't no black people there. The black people got up out of there. The black people said, oh, that's what y'all doing? That tells me that black people, that's right, they got going, because black people don't play. Once they see people dropping dead and they see people, oh, that's what y'all doing? Pew! Black people will get ghosts. Black people will get ghost, okay? Love Music Walker says, girl, this is good. So informative. Now, this is content. Thank you, girl. We try. Now, if it was black people there, yes, girl, they got out. They got out. Yes, Jess Z1 says he has a following with children on a game. Absolutely. And remember, we mentioned earlier that he did a concert with Fortnite. He did a concert with Fortnite. He did a virtual concert with Fortnite. And a lot of people don't know about that. So we're gonna be, yeah, I got y'all. Y'all know I'm going to give y'all the tea. They want y'all to believe. That this man wasn't doing concerts. And he wasn't doing any type of anything until this damn Astroworld World concert. Travis Scott did a whole Fortnite concert. Okay? He did a whole Fortnite concert. Oh, yes. He did one. Matter of fact, let me pull that up for you guys. And he did that in 2020, child. All right. So we'll talk about that. We'll get to that. But yeah, so when he was discovered by Kanye West, basically his career took off from there. But before that, you know, he was broke. And his parents was like, we are not going to pay for this. You're not going to be some dropout, college dropout. Kanye West, college dropout. College dropout, Kanye West. And he's signed by Kanye West. No, he is not signed by Kanye West, but you know what I mean. Kanye West protege, college dropout. His parents said, no ma'am, you are not going to be a college dropout, not around here. So can you imagine what a person would feel when they ain't got no money, they ain't got no phone, they don't got nothing? That's desperation. So you never know what they would be willing to do if they were put in a certain situation. All right? Never know what they would be willing to do. And this is where the Illuminati comes in place. Okay? Because they're always going to be there. Like, hey, you want to get up to this status? You want to get up to that status? We're here. We are here. Because what I don't understand is where this boy came from. Where did he come from? Where, as an artist, he's auto-tuned. He, yes, he produces music for people, beats and whatnot. But what is so great about this man that he needed a record deal? Look at him. He is just a typical, not only is he dark skinned, he's brown skinned. He's got these braids that are, they just always just seem to be hanging, look like you could just pick them off or just clip them off with scissors. He's nothing to brag about. He's nothing to really look at. And you guys know, usually they push these light-skinned men and women, light-skinned artists, that look a certain part and they fit a certain mold. They don't push a person like a Travis Scott. Like, look how he looks. And they want us to believe that he's super talented. But what is he super talented with? What did he do that made him super talented? I just gave you the background. He was at a college. He did his freshman year and his junior year. He dropped out, moved to NYC without his parents' permission. He slept on people's couch and all that. And then he felt like he wasn't getting anywhere. So he moved to Los Angeles. Did the same thing there. Finally, T.I. discovered him through SoundCloud. He goes out to Atlanta, works with T.I. 2 Chainz. He goes back to Los Angeles after he's done with that project. And then Kanye West discovers him. And then after working with Kanye West, he is named one of the freshman class in 2013. And then he releases his first mixtape. After that, he goes on to release an album, then a second album. And before his second album could even be released, he's already talking about Astroworld. He's already talking about Astroworld. he's already talking about his second album, which was in 2016. His second album, called Birds in the Trap, Sing McKnight, is his second album, okay? And this shit don't even make no sense. This man only has, now see, this, I gotta pause. We get ready to take a break. I'll be right back. See, these motherfuckers is not about to play in my motherfucking face. They not about to play in my face, your face, or anybody else's face. I'm going to take my goddamn allergy medicine, and when I come back, we get ready to get into this shit and close this shit out. Because these people is not about to play in my face or my motherfucking people face. Y'all hear me? They not about to play in my face or my people face. All right, guys, I am so sorry. I had to take my allergy medicine. You guys know that my allergies really get so wicked with these lights and stuff, the dust. But honey, once we move, I told you guys I bought a home and I actually am closing, and I'm moving my things. I just got new carpet all up in that thing and it's looking so good. We are scheduled to move in this week after I come back from Atlanta. So I got a lot going on this week. But yeah, once I get up in that thing, I ain't gonna have to worry about it, honey. You guys remember I was going to be doing the studio situation. Well, now with the new home, I really don't have to worry about that because the studio will be downstairs and I will be able to do all of that. I'll just be able to go on downstairs and do my shit because everyone is going to be able to call in. On my new studio show, the audience will be interactive. It will be virtual. So we'll be having all of that, okay? So, yes. But Travis Scott not about to play in our face. So I had to get my nose and shit together because Travis not about to play in my people's face. I'm not about to let him do that. No. No, sir. You're not about to do that. So what I need to know is this man only has 3 albums, okay? A lot of you guys have no idea who Travis Scott is, okay? Because when the industry puts someone in your face And they want to portray this person as someone that you need to buy his albums. You need to buy these records. So they make you think that this man is successful, he's rich, he's famous, he's, all of these things. They need to create that persona so that you will buy these records, you will stream. The type of popularity that Travis Scott has, this man only has 3 albums. His first album is Rodeo, and it was off of the label Grand Hustle. I don't think you guys believe this or even understand this, but Travis Scott is under Grand Hustle. Did you hear me? Do you even know that? Travis Scott is signed to Grand Hustle. I'm going to let that sit right there. He is not with Kanye West. He is not signed to Kanye West. But a lot of people think that because he went out to Kanye West and, the whole story in his story of evolution, Kanye West plays a role in it. They don't understand that T.I. plays the pivotal role in it because T.I. is actually the first person that he went out and was bought out. He did the song with 2 Chainz and T.I. called Upper Echelon. That is the song that he did with them. And that is his actual claim to fame. And people don't even know that. Okay? They associate him with Kanye West all the time because of the Kardashian connection. All right? The Kardashian connection. So actually, Travis Scott is under Grand Hustle. You heard me. His first album, Rodeo, was released in 2015 under Grand Hustle Epic. Birds in the Trap, Sing McKnight was released September 2nd, 2016 under the label Grand Hustle Epic. Astroworld was released in 2018 under the label Grand Hustle Epic. Utopia was released under the label Grand Hustle Epic Cactus Jack. Now, Cactus Jack also takes label credit for Astroworld. And Cactus Jack is actually a record label that is founded by Travis Scott. It has acts on it such as Sheck West, Don Toliver, who actually performed at this Astroworld, because Don Toliver is the act that came out before Travis Scott that got everybody all worked up, and everybody, that's when they realized shit was about to get real. So Don Toliver is actually an act on Cactus Records. And he is a rapper, songwriter, and this is him right there. That is Don Toliver. So there's a whole rabbit hole of shit. A whole rabbit hole of shit. And we just went down the rabbit hole live. Okay? So in 2020, Fortnite, they did a virtual concert that was actually watched by millions of people. And this was because of COVID. So the whole COVID situation, when people are saying, well, Travis released his 3rd album, which was Astroworld, in 2018, and we were all swamped, you know, and in 2019 when COVID hit, we weren't able to go to concerts and everything because of COVID. Well, in 2020, Fortnite, they did a whole concert with Travis Scott. Now, what is so great about Travis Scott that he is able to pull off a whole concert with Fortnite? This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. I am trying to paint the picture of how famous he is. Now, because black people like to think, I know y'all like to think, I know, because I'm black. I know I'm black, y'all. And I know y'all like to think, well, shit, if I don't know him, motherfuckers don't know about it. They ain't no motherfucking body. We don't know them, then they ain't no goddamn body. And if we don't buy their music and if we don't support them, then they're no goddamn body. I know we like to think that, black people, but white people, their white dollar is very respected. So if white people are your core audience and they make up your fan base, whites, Asians, all that shit, boom, boom. If these people make up your audience, then your career and your record sales, they're going to do amazing numbers because contrary to what people believe, the black dollar, the black voice, it's just not counted. It doesn't count. We are the face of rap. So when you think of rap, you think of black people. But there are a lot of whites, mostly white young kids, you know, Asian kids. I mean, we see the pictures right here. They make up the fan base. They got the money. They got the dollar. You know, black people, unfortunately, you know, we are poor. We live in inner cities. Yes, there's some that made it out. Yes, there's some that are successful and got money. But the larger consensus is that blacks are in the ghetto, we're in the hood, and we make up the minority. The majority is the whites and Caucasians and, you know, these Asian kids and all these people that you see at this goddamn concert. So his fan base are these type of people. So that's why black people say, well, I ain't never heard this nigga. I ain't never heard this mother. And he is not trying to appeal to you, black people. He is trying to appeal to these people. He is trying to appeal. Okay, hear her TV. You can go. We don't want you over here. We know what your agenda is. Girl, bye. Oh, and you guys, I'll make that disclaimer here. When I block someone, don't give them no light, and we won't continue to talk about them. That girl is on a mission. I thought she was someone that she is not. And that trash, we don't want that trash over here. We are above that type of content. And what she was doing, she came in like she was an ally child. And I seen what you've been doing over there on your channel. I didn't even know you had a channel. But once I seen what you were doing over there, ooh, you are a mess. So, yeah, Travis Scott, his crowd and his audience, you might know Travis Scott, but our dollar doesn't matter. Okay? This right here, that's his audience. His audience, they make up his dollar. So there's a difference between someone that knows Travis Scott and someone that actually buys his albums. I don't buy Travis. I don't know anyone that would. I don't know anyone that would. The industry does a very good job of making people think that this is something you need. This is something that you need in your life. You need to, but do you buy it? Think about it. Have you ever purchased a Travis Scott album? Have you ever streamed Travis Scott? I have never streamed Travis Scott. I've never bought Travis Scott. There is an agenda. There is an agenda with Travis Scott. There's always been an agenda with Travis Scott. And they gave him Kylie as a trophy. They gave him Kylie as a trophy. Same way they gave Kanye Kim as a trophy. But once he seen what was going on with her, he trying to get out, but he can't get out because he's trapped spiritually. He's trapped spiritually. Now, with Travis Scott, this man only has 3 albums. All right? He has 3 albums. 3. The type of celebrity that he is and the level of fame that he has attained, you would think that he would have more. You know what I'm saying? He only has 3. 3. He only has 3. 3. Like we said, the first one was Rodeo, which was released in 2015. Birds in the Trap, Sing McKnight, was released in 2016. And before he even was done with that album, he was already talking about Astroworld, which was released in 2018. His latest album, Utopia, is scheduled for 2021. It has not been released, but there are songs on it. The Scots with Kid Cudi is one of them. It has not been actually released yet, but that is the actual scheduled date is 2021. So Astroworld 2018 is the latest, but Utopia is already named. It's scheduled to be released. In my mind, why would you not be doing songs from your new album? Why would you call it Astroworld? I just wouldn't have called it that if I released this in 2018. I need to be, building up hype for my new album that is scheduled to be released in 2021. I need to be building up hype, so I need to be making this concert, if it's going to be the largest, and all of those people that came out, why would I use Astroworld? If I know that my fan base is the type of people that it is, I already know, they got people that work for them that is telling them what is projected, that it's going to look like, it's going to sell out, that it's sold out in minutes. That concert sold out in minutes. Sold out in minutes. So why would you name it Astroworld? I would have named it Utopia because I need to be promoting my new album. Even though I know I'm going to do songs and singles from people, from albums that are previous, of course. It doesn't matter what I do. I'm Travis Scott. Doesn't matter what songs I sing. The people came to see me. It's not even like I sing songs. I am auto-tune. Do you guys not follow me? Auto-tune. This man is not a singer. He's not a rapper. This is auto-tune. Straight up. Straight up. It's auto-tune. Nothing unique. Nothing out of this world. It's auto-tune. Auto-tune. If I was going into a concert and I have a new album coming out in 2021, I would have used my latest material as the backbone, as the title, as the name. Why would you be using Astroworld? Okay, so Astroworld came out in 2018. However, 2016, when he had put out Birds in and the Trap sing McKnight, he was already talking about Astroworld. And people were like, why is he talking about the reporters and things? When I was doing my research, they were like, why is he talking about Astroworld? This didn't even come out yet. You should be talking about your present album. Why would you be talking about something that we don't even know anything about? There's no songs on it. You don't have any singles related to it. Okay, but you want us to believe that Astroworld was a theme park that you used to go to with your family, and it meant a lot to you in your childhood. So you want to open Astroworld again? Is that what you want to do? Do we know? We don't even know. Oh, so we just take it as face value that he says Astroworld is a theme park that was closed down back in the day when he used to go there, and it has a lot of memories. It holds a lot of memories that are near and dear to him. Did he ever say he wanted to open it again? Is it open again? Did he do anything about opening it again? Do we know anything about that? Is it opened up? Did they reopen Astroworld? Because if this is so near and dear to your heart, it is a theme park that holds a lot of memories. We got the album cover, he gave us this. He said, when I go into Astroworld, this is how I feel. I'm a young child. I'm eating my popcorn. I'm with my family. I'm about to go on rides. But by the time I come out of Astroworld, this is what I look like. I'm dead on the ground. I'm doing back bends. I've got women on women in contortionists coming out of this concert. And now look what we have. We have a concert that actually emulated the covers. You go in this way, you come out this way, and at the concert, they went in and came out the mouth of Travis Scott, dead, 8 of them dead, injected with a substance. We have no idea what it was. And then you look at the crowd. I keep telling you, look at the crowd. Look at the crowd. Look at the crowd. So this is what these record labels and these artists, this is what they do. You don't know their story. They pick and choose who is going to be the great white hope, the big celebrity. They're going to turn them into a megastar. But what do you think they do to get there? Do you really think that they just say, okay, we're going to do Travis. We're going to just let Travis Scott be famous. We're going to let Travis Scott have the world at his feet. We're going to let Travis Scott be with Kylie Jenner. But how does Travis Scott solidify all that? How does he guarantee that all that's going to happen? This is a boy from San Antonio, Texas. Houston, Texas, went to college in San Antonio, and they just picked him out of the bunch. There's no special qualities. There's nothing that jumps out about him. He uses auto-tune. Right? So what was it about him? What was it about him? What was he willing to do? What was he willing to do? You sitting on that couch, laying on them couches in Los Angeles and NYC. You owe the goddamn A&R money for paying for that goddamn hotel room. Shit about to get real. That man said, I want my goddamn money. I want my money. I done paid for you to live in this hotel. I done paid for you to go to the studio. I done paid for you to do all these things. I want what's due to me. When are you going to give me me? You going to pay, or you going to pay another way? Are you going to pay me back my money, or are you going to pay another way? How are you going to pay me? I have paid for you to live in this hotel. I don't know you. You keep promising me things. You have not given it to me. When are you going to pay me? When? Well, you know what? I got an idea. You either can do this or you can do that. You know what? I know some people that might even be able to take you straight to the top. But you got to do this and you got to do that. Are you willing? Straight up is born. Straight up is born. So, got to think about that. Got to think about that. We just took you through his whole career, and it hasn't even been that long. I mean, he's only been out for maybe about 5 or 6 years. He was freshman class 2013. It's only 2021 right now. And his first album was not released until 2015. 2016 was his second album, and he was already talking about Astroworld. That wasn't even released yet. He was talking about that album before people even had time to digest his second album. So Astroworld tells me it was an event. It wasn't just an album. It was going to be an event. It was going to be an event that was scheduled to come. He was talking about it already in 2016. It did not happen in 2018. He did not speak on Astroworld in 2018. He spoke on it in 2016. He predicted it. He foretold. He gave you the plan. He told you what he was going to do. And then in 2021, we have the Astroworld occurrence. Astroworld is released in 2018. However, we have the occurrences of 2018 happening in 2021. You predicted it in 2016. You told the people what you was going to do, and yet it did not come to pass in until 2021. Why would you be speaking about an album? And you can go do your research. You can go on, because when I was doing my research and going through all of this, this is what everyone was talking about. So they were saying, why would you be predicting and talking about an album that is not even released yet? It's not going to be released. You should be promoting your second album. He's already talking about Astroworld. So that tells me that there was already something in the works, right? There's already something in the works. So police confirmed that there's actually some type of substance that these people were being injected with, all right? Authorities said that they would watch video and interview witnesses and review concert protocols to determine how 8 people died at a Houston musical festival when fans suddenly surged toward the stage. So they describe how everyone was in pandemonium. It was sheer pandemonium. And the security guard can attest that he felt a prick in his neck before passing out. This is crazy. Video shot at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival Friday night appears to show fans desperately trying to get the concert to stop as the crush went on for about a half hour before the music was stopped, leaving at least 8 people dead and scores more injured. Scott apparently noticed an ambulance moving through the crowd, stopped performing for a few moments, then promised to make this motherfucking ground shake and resumed the show. It's unclear if he heard any of the crowd's pleas. So, video shot at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival Friday night appears to show fans desperately trying to get the concert to stop as the crush went on for about half an hour. Then the music stops, leaving at least 8 people dead and scores more injured. So the 8 people had already died and a lot of people were already injured before they finally stopped the music. So while people were being injected with things and they were dying and passing out, I don't know if the people that are dead were injected with anything and died. I don't know if those people, I don't know if that has come in, come into light yet. If the people that are dead, if they were either crushed, trampled over, stampeded, or if they actually were injected with something and now they're dead. So I'm waiting on reports to come out about it to see if that is indeed what occurred. So I don't know at this point if that's what it is. However, the people are saying while they tried to alert Travis and his, the people that were in control of the concert, that there were people dying and dropping and they were being trampled over, that they needed to stop, they kept on going. So while these people were passing out and dying, the music carried on. Scott apparently noticed an ambulance moving through the crowd, stopped performing for a few moments, and then he promised to make this motherfucking ground shake. And then he resumed the show. It's unclear if he heard any one of the crowd's pleas. So you saw a goddamn ambulance coming in, you seen that, and you stopped, and then you said, I'm about to make this motherfucking ground shake. And then they carried on, and people continued to pass out, be trampled over. The camera then shifts to show Scott on top of a platform above the crowd, glancing in the direction of the cops. The rapper then turns away, shimming his hips as he dances, and the video goes back to the scene of the victim being treated. A different video shows Scott standing on the same platform, looking more intently at a group of security officers carrying out an unconscious fan. It is unclear if the same victim was in both videos. Another clip posted on Twitter showed people in the crowd shouting, "Stop the show," though it was unlikely the group could be heard on stage. And that's what I was getting ready to say, because the way they were saying stop the show, it wasn't very loud. It didn't seem, they weren't enthusiastic or energetic about it. So it didn't seem like they could even hear them. In a different post, makeup mogul and reality star Kylie Jenner, who is pregnant with her second child with Scott, posted a video scanning the crowd that clearly shows an ambulance making its way through thousands of fans. The post was apparently since deleted, but multiple copies were circulating online. It's still not clear what triggered the mayhem, though the Houston police said they are investigating rumors that someone was sticking people with drugs. Officials said that 50,000 plus people in the crowd began to surge forward around 9 p.m. as Scott took the stage, and within an hour, the situation had turned deadly. Social media after the tragedy filled with full of first-person stories from people who said they were caught up in the crushing crowd and witnessed multiple people getting hurt. Billy Nasser, a 24-year-old DJ who was at the festival, told the Houston Chronicle that the crowd started surging during the show and people started falling down. Everyone in the front was getting crushed. The crowd was moving so hard, people were falling over and then tripping over the people on the ground. Nasser, who posted a video of a man receiving chest compressions as a cart he is on moves through the crowd, said he tried helping up one kid who was on the floor. Some people kept dancing, seemingly not realizing what was happening. The kid he picked up stumbled around and fell on a pile of others. Nasser told the paper he realized there was a pile building up, people likely dying, and he started panicking. "I've never seen anything like it before," he said. "I've been to many festivals. I've never seen anything like this." So now, here is Travis Scott's Fortnite. Now, remember when I was telling you about his Fortnite concert that was watched by millions of people? He did a Fortnite concert, and you know, Fortnite is a game that people play. You can play it on PS4, you can play it on a computer, you can play it Xbox. But he did a collaboration with Fortnite where he actually released a concert with them. So a lot of people that are gamers, they were excited about that. So he released that back in 2020, and you can see users here actually seeing it on their consoles and on their handheld consoles, and you're able to watch it. So, you know, he performed songs, popular songs off of his off of his third album, Astroworld. So why did we need a concert? Why did we need a concert? This is what I'm not understanding. If we were in COVID and people were not able to do live concerts, he did one. He did a virtual concert, and it was already watched by millions of people. And it was done through Fortnite. So I believe it probably was very successful because people weren't able to go out. They weren't able to go to concerts. They weren't able to go to large events that had a lot of people in them. So this probably was very successful. It did very well. So why did you need a concert in 2021 for an album that was released in 2018? Makes no sense to me. So this is Travis's response after this situation. This is what he had to say.
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more. Prospectus at Invesco.com.
I could just never imagine the severity of the situation. I'm honestly just devastated.
Rap star Travis Scott joining the city of Houston in mourning today, while an official search for answers gets underway.
It is important for us to ascertain from last night what took place, what happened, where missteps may have occurred.
As Scott took the stage to headline his Astroworld Festival Friday, many of his fans were being crushed in a sea of pain.
Pushing. We just watched the bodies just go past us unconscious.
With reports of people being trampled, unable to move and breathe, some unconscious and falling to the ground, EMS crossing dense crowds to reach them. 8 people died in the incident, all under 30. The youngest victim just 14 years old.
We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time.
Police are also looking into reports of a security guard who was stuck in the neck with a needle, falling unconscious and having to be revived by rescue crews.
Could it have been that somebody was given some drugs and they passed out and then they were trampled? Or did they pass out because they were trampled?
Police say they've improved security measures at the event over the years, adding more officers on the ground. But ICU nurse Madeline Eskin says the show was too crowded and people were trapped in the crush.
If you fell over, it would have been a death sentence.
Eskin says she fainted in the crowd, but her boyfriend lifted her over a fence to medics.
If he would not have gotten me out of there, I don't think I would have made it.
Now, investigators are still trying to identify one of those 8 victims, and in a rare move are asking for the public's help to try and identify him. Additionally, investigators say they're reviewing all of the surveillance footage from inside this event to see if they can find out what set the crowd off. Hallie?
Katie back live for us there in Houston.
So Kylie Jenner and Travis, they say she and Travis are broken and devastated by Astroworld tragedy. Kylie Jenner says she and Travis Scott are broken and devastated by the events that occurred at the Astroworld Festival on Friday that left at least 8 people dead and dozens of others injured. My thoughts and prayers are with all those who lost their lives, were injured, or affected in any way by yesterday's events, Jenner, 24, wrote on her Instagram story. Stormy Webster's mother, who was in attendance, added that she is also thinking of Scott, 30, who I know cares deeply for his fans and the Houston community, she said. Jenner, who faced backlash on Saturday for a since-deleted Instagram story that showed an ambulance in the crowd, also addressed accusations that Scott, a Houston native, ignored distraught fans who were begging him to stop the show. I want to make it clear we weren't aware of any fatalities until the news came out after the show, and in no world would have continued filming or performing, she said. This is her post. Travis and I are broken and devastated. My thoughts and prayers are with all who lost their lives, were injured or affected in any way by yesterday's events, and also for Travis, who I know cares deeply for his fans and the Houston community. I want to make it clear we weren't aware of any fatalities until the news came out after the show, and in no world would have continued filming or performing. I'm sending my deepest condolences to all the families during this difficult time, and will be praying for the healing of everyone who has been impacted. Let me tell you something about this bitch, okay? First of all, why would you... Now, see, this is clear that your mother, Chris, has been more interested in making you a celebrity and getting you with the right black man that would, progress and further your career and your image than giving you wisdom, imparting any type of wisdom, and in any type of education into you. Because if you had any sense, you would have not posted anything like this. This is selfish. She's talking about Travis Scott. You and him are millionaires. Y'all have nothing to worry about. You have solidified your position in whatever y'all motherfuckers are wrapped up in. And I'm just going to put it out there because I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because we're here to talk about what the fuck we are here to talk about. I'm not going to be politically correct. I'm going to come with the shit. This shit screams industry. This screams industry. I don't know what these people are involved in. I cannot detail it because I have no idea what they actually deal with, what rituals they actually do. I have no idea. But if you see an ambulance, you are not Michael Jackson. I understand that you think that you are a celebrity that is so profound and having an impact in society. But dear, you are not. You are not Michael Jackson. You are not Madonna. You are not a celebrity that has that type of effect on anyone, because you are not an artist. You are an auto-tune sound. Even during the concert, they still have an auto-tune playing over your voice. Kylie, you need to sit down and shut the fuck up. This had nothing to do with you. This is Travis Scott's concert. It was up to Travis Scott to make a statement, not Kylie Jenner. This is fake. It is set up, and it was worded strategically. Whatever the fuck y'all are involved in, it's not like they're going to come out and tell us. They're not going to come out and say, y'all, we performed an Illuminati ritual that went off just as expected. People died. We injected them with a substance. The man in the crowd that had the needle injected them with a substance. They're not going to come out and say that. They're not going to come out and say that. Kylie Jenner, you need to sit your ass down. This has nothing to do with you. This is Travis Scott's concert. While you put that shit on your story showing an ambulance, was that supposed to, he's doing so good that people are falling out. They are falling out in the crowd because they are so excited. They are so excited. They falling out. No. People were falling out because they were being injected with some shit and they were passing out, dying. Witnesses describe it as people pass out, being led out, and they had blood coming out of their mouths and their eyes rolling in the back of their head. So it's clear that this message was more stroking Travis's ego and trying to show the stand by your man. I'm standing by my man. Baby, I went out there and I had your back. I went out there and told them motherfuckers. Leave my baby alone. Leave my baby alone. Leave my baby alone. Leave my baby alone.
Occurred at his Astroworld festival. In a statement, Travis said, quote, "I'm absolutely devastated by what took place last night. My prayers go out to the families and all those affected by what happened at Astroworld Festival. Houston PD has my total support as they continue to look into the tragic loss of life. I am committed to working together with the Houston community to heal and support the families in need. Thank you to Houston PD, Fire Department, and NRG Park for their immediate response and support. Love you all." Authorities revealed that at least 8 people have been confirmed dead. The concert event, which was held at Houston's NRG Park on November 5th, was attended by approximately 50,000 people, including Kylie and Kendall Jenner. During a press conference overnight, authorities said that just after 9 p.m. local time, the crowd, quote, began to compress towards the front of the stage, a move that caused panic and injuries within the crowd.
People began to fall out, become unconscious, and it created additional panic.
Asuncion Cortez, a public information officer with the Houston Fire Department, also told E! News, quote, "During the festivities, up until the end of the festival, approximately 300 people were treated on site for minor injuries." Cortez went on to say that after the, quote, mass casualty incident, 17 patients were transported to area hospitals. 12 of those patients were transported by HFD units. According to officials, 11 of those patients that were transported were in cardiac arrest. As Cortez explained it, the cause of death for the 8 individuals has not been determined. The medical examiner's office will conduct an investigation. Cortez continued, quote, "We are working closely with all agencies involved and set up a reunification site to assist families that have not heard from their loved ones that attended the festival. This information can be found on the HFD Twitter account." Following this tragic event, the Astroworld Fest Instagram account confirmed that the festival, which was initially a 2-day event, will no longer be held on November 6th. The festival statement read, quote, "Our hearts are with the Astroworld Festival family tonight, especially those we lost and their loved ones. We are focused on supporting local officials however we can." As authorities mentioned in their press conference earlier, they are looking into the series of cardiac arrests that took place. If you have any relevant information on this, please reach out to the Houston Police.
We are here at the Azure Cabanas at the Royal Hotel.
Child, girl, go on now. I don't want to hear nothing about you. Go on, girl. Now, my thing is, how in the world do you want us to even believe that, you could just get in with injectables? There was a man that was just injecting random people. He was just in the crowd and he was just sticking people with something. So if there is security and you have to be patted down or, they got to check people for weapons and stuff, how did this person get in with a needle? So you just want me to believe that this man just had a needle and he was just going around injecting people with it? You have to have more than one needle. When you inject someone with anything, it is not just one needle. You would have to have multiple needles, okay? So if there is 8 people dead right now, and then we read the statement of the previous person that said that there has to be more than 8. It's about 20 to 30 people that actually died. All right. So if the narrative is that they actually were sticking people with needles and they were injecting them with something and they passed out and died from it, then this person would have to had at least 8 needles. All right. Okay. So do not, there is something else more sinister at play here. That is not the narrative. Okay. I just want people to understand that I don't believe personally, that there were actually needles. I don't believe that someone actually was injecting anyone with anything. That is ridiculous. It sounds far-fetched. Coming from a medical background, coming from a medical aspect of things, if you're going to inject somebody with something, you have to have at least 8 needles. If it's 8 people, you're going to have at least 8 hits. You're going to have to at least hit somebody, and it has to be 1 needle for each. There's no way that you can inject 8 people with 1 needle. That it doesn't work like that. Because if you have been in the ER or you've ever been given a shot, you guys know that the way those needles are, the serving that they about to put in your arm, it's 1 hit. All right? And you just can't. That's just not how needles work. They don't work like that. Don't work like that. Okay? Does not work like that. So if the narrative, we're going to go with needles, then that would mean that someone have to get through with those needles. And if security was in place, how did the person get in with the needles? All right. So like I said in the beginning of this whole situation, this is what the scene looks like. You've got all these people, and it is designed to keep people protected. You said they had security surrounding this event. Well, that would mean that what are you doing? Are you keeping people in? Or are you keeping people out? If you're keeping people in, that's why there was a stampede, because the people could not get out. There's no way it should have been a stampede. This is outside. There are multiple exits. This is an outdoor event. If you had a fence, it was a height of maybe your waist. This fence was waist height. This fence was not crawl over height. There is not crawl over height fences at concerts. Y'all know that. The fences are at least waist or chest height. So that means that the people would have been able to get out. They've been able to knock those things over because they are not secure and bolted into the ground. They're makeshift fences. So the people would have been able to knock them bitches over and trample right out that place. So that tells me that the security was not allowing people to get out. They were making it so that people were stuck. They had to trample and stampede to get over people because they were stuck and they couldn't get out. The overflow, the people were not able to get out. If you were running and trying to get out of somewhere, how could you not get out? So it just seems to me that they were not making it so they could get out. Okay? So we got to look at this from multiple angles. We have a security guard, officer, whatever, being planted, possibly, saying that he was stuck with a needle. Okay, so why are you still alive? Why are you still alive and able to talk about being stuck with the needle? People, you cannot You cannot be fooled by these stories. You got to break it apart. You got to break it apart. You got to take it piece by piece. So we want, because see, the media will do that. That's how they'll do it. They'll put it out there and they'll put the story out there and people will take their own takeaway from it. Like, oh, people was being injected. 8 people died. They got injected with something. Where nobody said all 8 people got injected with anything. You feel me? So you got to do this and pick it apart for yourself. How in the world could 8 people get injected with 1 needle? Oh, it was 8 needles? So this man was running around, he injected 8. He had 8 needles in his hands all at one time? How did he inject these people? You got to think about it. You got to think about it. How was the security guard able to tell everyone that he was injected? He's still alive? Why is he still alive and all the 8 people are dead? Did they get injected or were they trampled over? Which one? There's no way possible that you can inject 8 people with 1 needle. So we have to think about this narrative and we cannot just be sold a story. We can't be sold a story. These concerts are, we're at a time in COVID. We have a pandemic going on. These concerts are overcrowded. This is 50,000 people in attendance. You have too many people in one centered concentration. It's too many. You got them falling out of his mouth. Look like he just threw these people up. When I look at this picture, it looks like he threw these people up and they done just fell out into the crowd. These people were trapped, nowhere to go, running all around in circles, people just dying. And then you got people in the crowd shouting, "Stop the show, stop the show, stop the show, stop the show." You can't hear them. Or could he? Or could he hear them? Because of the agenda and whatever it is that he had planned back in 2018, when he was already talking about, back in 2016, when he was already talking about Astroworld that wasn't scheduled to be released until 2018, this seems like it was already put in place. It was already something that was conceived from the mind of Travis Scott and whoever else he's involved with. There's no way that you're already talking about a 3rd album and you haven't even released the 2nd one yet, and you're already talking about the 3rd one. Astroworld is supposed to be a theme park that you used to go to as a child. You want to rebuild it in this album. But has he ever said that he's actually reopening the theme park? The artwork that is on the album cover depicts kids going into a theme park with their family. But later that night, things got a little crazy. And now we've got a woman laid out in the front of the theme park on a nasty ass back seat of a car that's been pulled out, thrown in the front of the theme park. We've got girls kissing on girls, girls in a contortionist box, and it all looks demonic. The theme is demonic. The theme is evil. It's influence. It's dark. It's influenced by evil. But Astroworld is supposed to be a place of fun. Then you start looking at the lyrics and you go into this album and you break down the lyrics from song to song. A lot of the lyrics is him tormented, inner torment. Him wanting to present to the world one image, but really dealing with another. If you read the lyrics, I took time to read the lyrics to the songs and to each song. Like I said, he met Kylie in the song Skeletons. But if you read the words to these songs in each of the songs on this Astroworld album, it really makes sense. It goes with what just happened. It goes with the demonic theme, the whole sacrificial theme of sacrificing to get where you want to be in life. There's no way a Travis Scott, someone of his caliber with auto-tune, how are you where you at? How are you where you're at? I understand that, yes, his music is catchy. Yes, people, he's been sought after by a lot of different artists and put down on their, on their songs and shit. I understand that. But it's not that unique of a sound that people are going after him, that he's a sought out producer or artist, that he should have all this wealth and amass all this wealth. And when you see him on red carpets, when you see him being interviewed, he's always looking down. He's always looking shy. He's not really looking into the camera. He's always looking like he's ready to bolt, ready to go. I don't want you to look at me for too long. I don't want you to see into the depths of my soul for too long, because I don't want to reveal what's really there. And he also kind of looks like he doesn't feel like he deserves it. He doesn't feel like he even can believe he's where he's at. Why am I even here? I don't even believe that I deserve to be where I'm at. He always looks like that. Like, I can't believe that I'm actually a millionaire. I'm actually baby daddy to Kylie Jenner. I'm actually a multi-millionaire, sought after artist, rapper, performer, whatever the fuck you want to call him. I am a millionaire. I can't believe it. Makes no sense. There's no way. What did he do? He's not dancing. I don't see too legit to quit. I don't see no dance moves. I don't see no dance moves. I don't see anything that he invented. All I hear is straight up, on the cat, straight up. My baby Kylie Jenner, straight up. We take the lean, straight up. We take the perk, straight up. Straight up, my baby Kylie Jenner, straight up. My baby Stormy, straight up. I don't see anything that is Academy Award winning, that he needs to be so famous that and where he is. I just don't. So, child, I don't see it, y'all. I just don't. So, we all know that there are rumors of these Illuminati sacrifices, and that these artists, in order to get to a certain level, that they are willing to play ball. You know what I'm saying? They are out here. They are willing to do whatever it takes to get wherever it is that they need to go. And people in the Illuminati, the higher powers that be, the gatekeepers, they identify these young men early in the game. They get them early in the game, and they say, if this is where you want to go, and they identify the ones that are hungry, the ones that are broke, poor, don't got it, and they could tell that they really want it. Hey, you want to go there? You want to get there? Well, you got to do this. You got to do that. And once they step in it, it's done. They can't turn back. So that's why you see them drowning themselves with drugs, drowning themselves with alcohol, constantly trying to escape what they've gotten into, what they've gotten themselves into. Most people that do drugs, and they do, the type of drugs that these celebrities talk about, pills, lean and stuff, they're trying to escape their reality. What is it that you need to escape? You are a celebrity. You are a multimillionaire. All your dreams have come true. You are dating Kylie Jenner. You have a baby by her. You're in the Kardashian clan. You're a millionaire. You've made albums and records with some of the most famous people in our generation and in our time. You've experienced most things that you thought you never would. You're rich. You made it. So why do you need drugs? What is it that you're trying to escape? Why are you so depressed? What did you do? What did you do that is making you so depressed that you need a drug to escape it? You got money. You got everything. All the cars, jewelry, women. You can go anywhere. You can go anywhere. At the drop of a dime, you can go anywhere. Drop of a hat, you can go anywhere. So why are you so depressed? Because at the end of the day, these people are still human. You're still a man, you're still a person at the end of the day, and you have a conscience. No matter how much you've hidden it and compressed and suppressed it with drugs and activity and stardom, fame, and money, that conscience is still there. It is still telling you, I know what you did. I know who you really are. I know what you really do. You can't run from your conscience. You can't run from the truth. You can run from it in front of our eyes because we don't know. But you know, when you're alone with just yourself and it's just you, you know what you've done. And that's just a lot. It's a lot for anyone to bear. So they can't get it they can't get it across my eyes, guys. I know we've covered a lot of material. I tried to take you from beginning, middle, end, tried to give you a little bit of background into who Travis Scott was. I tried to give you some background on what the people at the concert is actually saying occurred and the actual atmosphere, what it felt like, the energy. We're big on energy these days. We're big on, creating energy and manifesting things. Well, people said that the energy was just off. It was evil. It was demonic. It was intense. It was a lot going on before the concert even started. And 15 into the concert, 15 minutes in, people were stampeding. People were dying, dropping. It was complete mayhem and pandemonium. For what? Travis Scott? This is not a Thriller concert. Travis Scott. If you look at his scenery, when we looked at the video, he's standing on his prop. It's just him. It's no dancers. It's nobody. It's just him. That's nothing. That's nothing. And this man is considered, he needed ambulances and EMTs. He thought he was that great. He saw an ambulance and EMTs in the crowd and he didn't think anything of it. He didn't think, oh my God, what's going on? You think you're that great that you cause people to pass out and go. They knew exactly what was going on. They knew exactly what was going on because they know what they signed up for. Him, Stormy, and anyone, not Stormy. Him, Kylie. Stormy is the baby. Now y'all know I'm getting tongue-tied. Him, Kylie, and whoever else is down with that team. They knew exactly what they were there to do. They knew what they signed up for. They talked about it and had it in their plans since 2016. Okay? He was already talking about this album in 2016, his second album. He hadn't even finished or completed the second album and was already talking about Astroworld. All right. So that just tells you a lot. How are you naming the concert Astroworld after your third album when you already you scheduled to have an album in 2021? Why would you not name it Utopia? That's a beautiful name for a concert. Utopia. Heaven right here on earth. You got two children with your, with Kylie. You got a successful career. You've created a utopia right here on earth. So why wouldn't you name it that? Why would you name it Astroworld? After that third album. Looking at the album cover, looking at it, it just looks like the scene. It looks like the scene. This album cover looks like the scene. Chaos. Pandemonium. The energy just off. Energy just off. That's the concert. That's the concert. Energy just off. That concert looks like that goddamn album cover. That concert looks just like that album cover. Period. Period. So, we already know what forces are at play here. You guys are not stupid. Nobody is stupid. Nobody is stupid. We all know. We know what forces are at play. All right. Travis Scott made a commitment. He made a pledge and he has to stick with it. We don't know what, he's agreed to do. We don't know, what he signed on for, but it's evident. It's evident that this was part of that plan. So this is all I got, guys. This is all I got about this subject. I am anxious to hear what you have to say about it. I'm anxious to hear your thoughts and your opinions. I've been watching the chat. I've been looking at it in and out briefly. I've been watching, and I'm really thankful for your comments. A lot of you were on point, and you understand where it is I'm going with this. As always, thank you for watching. It has been splendid. You guys know that I am on my way to ATL. I have a trial to cover. Okay, I will be there. I will not be covering the I'm not able to do the jury selection, of course, because I can't be there for jury selection, but I will be there when the trial starts on Tuesday at 1:30. So I will be there. I will be there, and your girl will be giving you reports on what is happening day by day in the trial. But I think that their asses is going to settle, honey. But we're going to do a little update video on that tonight as well, directly after this video. So if you care, show up. I love you guys. This has been another edition of the Sweet Pea Diaries. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all. Bye.